G'day. Don't let the big boys beat your business at being local first. A few years ago, I wrote an article about the launch of a program from Accor Hotels called Accor Local. And what that program was all about was essentially trying to find a way for the hotels to become much more integrated with their local communities. And the way they pitched this was things like, say, your dry cleaning. If your dry cleaning store in your local town closed at 6 o'clock and you couldn't pick up your dry cleaning until maybe 8 o'clock that night, then you'd be able to pick it up via your Accor hotel, your local Accor hotel. Similar things with, say, car pickups, maybe mail and courier deliveries. Basically what they tried to do is find ways that local businesses or services that weren't operating 24 hours could essentially have a 24-hour footprint via their local Accor hotel, which was open 24 hours. Now, at the time, I wrote about how I think it's a super smart play. I do think it's actually an interesting way for Accor as a hotel to test the market on other potential verticals for their business. So if dry cleaning at 10 o'clock seemed to be a thing at night, then maybe Accor would start going into that business. Same with courier delivery, same with whatever it is, shoe shine services, all these sort of services that couldn't go 24 hours. If Accor sees a demand for them to be accessible 24 hours, they could double down on that and essentially take over that part of the market. That's what I sort of figured that they would be thinking about long term. But in this current context of the world being shut down globally, global restrictions on the global supply chain, on travel, local first is going to be what it's all about. And so all of these big multinational companies, I believe, in any industry, are going to start focusing on how they can build local community. Because in a world of global contraction, local first becomes really powerful. And chances are your business has a much better opportunity to hold that local footprint, to own that local space. So what you should be doing now, whatever your business is, whatever industry you're in, you should be really trying to double down on your local community. Because if you don't, I've got a funny feeling that the big corporates, the big multinationals are going to throw a lot of resources at trying to build little communities at a local scale across a big scale locally, if that makes sense, rather than trying to rely on their global distribution, their global platform, because that right now is threatened and we don't quite know when that's going to open up. So I'll put a link to that article below about Accor Local. It's a program that was launched a few years ago. Not sure exactly where it's at now, but the concept behind that, because the CEO of Accor, Sébastien Bazien, is a super smart guy. I really think this guy is a true innovator, and I think he's got some really, really smart ideas. And so this one particularly, I think in this current world, a few years later, becomes a really, really relevant play for big corporates to attack, not just hotels, any industry. So I think it's worth having a think about. If you're a big corporate, you should be planning that way. But if you're a local business, then you should be doubling down on the local community, because you should own that space. If you don't own it now, double down quick before someone else takes it from you. Alrighty, that is it for today. I do thank you for your time, and I will be back again tomorrow. See ya.
See you little boys run when these big boys come. Big noise from these big